What if an experience you had with money years ago is still influencing how much money you actually make today? Hi, I'm Kendall, and in this episode, we're talking about how past money experiences become beliefs, how those beliefs become part of your identity, and why an outdated money story can keep influencing how much you earn, save, and create for your financial future. Your history with money is powerful, but it does not get permanent authority over who you are with money today. All right, so listen in. It's all here for you in this week's episode. Let's dive in.
Welcome to The Money Coach, where money feminist Kendall SummerHawk challenges the money rules handed to women. You'll discover the bankable beliefs and pricing decisions that separate women who chase revenue from women who create real profit, while sharpening the coaching skills that define a masterful coach.
Hello, my beautiful soul, and welcome back to the podcast. We're diving into a new series I'm creating for you here with the podcast that's focusing on you and your money story. Now, this isn't the typical, oh, what story are you telling yourself kind of surface money work. This is actually the entry point into deep money identity and belief work that shifts who you are with money on a DNA level. And I want to let you in on that I am deep into the creation process of something brand new. I'm super excited about it, that I will be launching in just a few weeks. It is the next evolution of how I'm mentoring women entrepreneurs on money, and it's grounded in one of my deepest beliefs, that every woman entrepreneur can change her money story and create significant income, profit, savings, and financial independence. So if you've been wanting a way to mentor with me on money that fits your budget, this is going to be perfect for you. So stay tuned, keep listening, keep watching your email. It's all going to be coming to you in just a few weeks. All right, so before we dive in here today, be sure you have joined me on my new Substack, Feminine Money Mastery. It's free, and it's where I spill the secrets on women entrepreneurs and money and what women are capable of creating financially. So you can go to kendallsubstack.com to subscribe, and I will also link to it in the show notes. So I want you to think about the way you describe yourself with money. Maybe you said, I've never been good at money, or I'm just not, good with numbers. I always spend too much. My income is inconsistent. I can make money, but keeping it is another story. And here's what I want you to notice about this type of self-talk. You can repeat an outdated description of yourself so many times that you now treat it like a current fact. And at some point, you have to ask yourself, am I describing who I am with money today, or am I repeating a money story about who I used to be? Your history with money is powerful, absolutely, but it does not get permanent authority over how you see yourself. And I really want you to take that in. So today we're talking about the money beliefs that keep an older version of your money story alive, which is not what we want. How past experiences can become conclusions about who you are, and what happens when you start looking at yourself with money based on who you are right now. So let's look at how easily a money experience from the past can become a money identity. And I have two insights I'm sharing with you in today's episode. So insight number one is your money story can turn history into identity. So something happens with money. You have an experience of some kind. You spend the savings you worked hard to create. You have several months of inconsistent income or really low income. You avoid looking at your numbers. You make a money decision that you end up regretting. Boy, I have one of those to the tune of about $150,000. That's a story for a different episode. But that's the experience. And then you decide what that experience means. Money always disappears faster than I can save it. Might be an example of what you make it mean. Or maybe you make it mean that consistent income isn't something that I can count on. Or numbers are difficult for me. Or I can make money, but keeping it is difficult. So if you find yourself making those kind of statements about what that experience means for you, and guess what? Those are beliefs. Those are beliefs. And when those beliefs get repeated long and often enough, something even more powerful happens. They become part of how you describe yourself. So they switch to I am statements. I'm terrible at saving. I'm inconsistent with money. I'm bad with numbers. I'm just someone who spends what she makes. Statements like that are identity statements. How do I know? Because they start with I am. And I want you to see the enormous leap that just happened there. You went from something happening with money, an experience, to this is how money works for me, to this is who I am with money. But you know what? An experience is temporary. But once you make it part of your identity, you keep recreating it long after the original experience is over. And that's why I want you to become incredibly discerning about the conclusions you've drawn from your money history. You may have spent every dollar you made 10 years ago. That doesn't mean, quote, I spend everything I make is a permanent fact about you. You may have struggled to save when your business was making $60,000 a year, but that doesn't determine what you're capable of saving when it's making $200,000 a year. You may have avoided your numbers for years, but that doesn't get to dictate who you are with your numbers today. Your history gives you information, but it does not get to write your identity. It does not get to write your identity. So here's a coaching question I want you asking. I've got two of them for you here today. Here's the first one. The question is, what are you still believing about yourself with money based on something that happened in the past? What are you still believing about yourself with money based on something that happened in the past? That question can reveal a money identity that you've been carrying for years and give you the opportunity to decide whether that identity still belongs to you. It probably doesn't. All right, insight number 2. You may have changed while your description about yourself has stayed the same. So here's where this gets really interesting. You can change dramatically with money and never update the way that you describe yourself. So maybe you used to spend everything you made, but today you have $20,000 in savings. Maybe there was a time when you avoided your numbers, but now you look at them every week. Maybe your income genuinely was inconsistent for years, but your business has now produced over six figures, 3 years in a row. So the evidence changed, but somewhere in your money story, the old description survived. Those descriptions of, I've never really been good with money, I'm not a saver, my income is unpredictable. And every time you repeat one of those types of statements, you give an older version of yourself authority that she no longer needs to have. So at what point does the old story lose its authority? The moment you recognize that it no longer accurately describes you. You are allowed to update your money story. And I want you actively looking for evidence of who you are with money now. What do you handle differently? What have you learned? What money behavior have you changed? What are you capable of now that you weren't capable of, let's say, 5 years ago? So this isn't about pretending your past didn't happen. Your past is part of your money story. It just doesn't get to be the only author. So here's the second question that I want to give you. What is true about who you are with money today that your old money story hasn't caught up with yet? Let me say that again. What is true about who you are with money today that old money story just hasn't caught up with yet? So to wrap up here, your money story is allowed to change because you have changed. You've had new experiences with money. You've developed new skills. You've made different choices. You've created evidence that may completely contradict something that you had decided about yourself years ago. So don't keep giving an outdated version of yourself the power to describe who you are with money today. Go back to the 2 questions that I just gave you. The first was, what are you still believing about yourself with money based on something that happened in the past? And the second question was, what is true about who you are with money today that your old money story just hasn't caught up with yet? So changing your money story starts with recognizing the story you've been repeating about yourself is no longer true. And I want you to stay tuned because we're going to be going much, much deeper with money story and beliefs in upcoming episodes. I'm so excited to bring this new body of work to you, including how an old money identity, we're going to focus a lot on identity, how that can influence the financial freedom that you allow yourself to envision. All right. And if you're ready to change the results, as in how much money you make, that your money story is creating in your business, book your Money Up Level private intensive with me. I'm going to pinpoint the pricing and income opportunities that have the greatest potential to increase your income and your profit. We're going to uncover money beliefs influencing those opportunities, and we're going to together create the bankable beliefs that support the result that you want next. In other words, by having a Money Up Level private intensive with me, you're going to start making more money, keeping more money, really creating that financial freedom that you want. Your money story has a direct relationship to how much money your business creates. So let's make sure it's supporting you making significantly more. As I like to say, the money is in your business. Let's go find it. And you can check out that Money Up Level with me at kendallsummerhawk.com/money up level. All one word, kendallsummerhawk.com/money up level. All right, my beautiful soul, I will see you again in our next episode. My love to you. Bye-bye. Thanks for listening to The Money Coach. If this episode sparked a new way to think about money, be sure to follow the show so you never miss an episode. And if you found it valuable, I would be so grateful if you leave a 5-star review. Every review helps more women entrepreneurs and the coaches who serve them discover the podcast. Until next time, remember this: entrepreneurship is the opportunity. Your relationship with money determines what that opportunity becomes.